Hey, Star Wars fans and Rule the Galaxy fans. It is Joe in the pilot seat for chapter 188 of the Rule the Galaxy podcast. It's a special show. It's an additional show. Brent Dykin said people were wanting more content for us. So guess what? We're throwing more content. And we wanted to do it last night, but things got hectic on the Joe side of things. So we're going to do a little show tonight about the Mandalorian trailer that came out for season 3. And to go along with that, we've got a couple of our regular co-hosts and then a special co-host who started the whole thing off. But we'll just go around the room real quick, introduce everybody. First, remember, you can always follow us at Rule the Galaxy SW on Twitter and Instagram, Rule the Galaxy on Facebook and YouTube. Go to Etsy.com, type in Rule the Galaxy, all one word. Go buy some shirts, hats, everything like that. Laura will take care of you there. Rule the Galaxy SW at gmail.com. And Rule the Galaxy podcast on TikTok. That, I think, covers it all. I'm sitting here with a fresh haircut that my daughter just came over and cut my hair. And we're going to go around the room real quick. DDoc, how are you, brother?
Doing good. Excited to talk about this trailer, I was expecting there to be some good football before seeing the trailer, but it wasn't very entertaining, I'll say. So I was forced to watch the Cowboys just to get to this point. So I'm happy. I'm happy we saw it.
I love that the Cowboys win for my brother. Outside of that, I could care less if the Cowboys ever win another game, but that's another story for another time. Alfie, how are you, brother?
Doing good. I thought it was a great trailer, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Good. We're ready to bring the heat. We're ready to go with it here. Hey, last but not least, one of my favorite guys in the whole wide world, and why not? He should be. He's named after me. He is part of my genetics. Joseph Frank Molinaro the fourth. Joey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back. As always, whenever I can hop on. I'm very excited that we're less than 2 months until Mando season 3. I did not make it to the trailer on Monday night. I was just so tired and ready to fall asleep that, well, you guys have all been there. Like, we have the lights off by 7:15, trying to get little man to go to sleep and everything. So when it's 8:30 and we had watched one of the Dateline episodes, I was zonked. So I didn't even make it. Didn't even see it until 5:30 this morning when I was up with my little guy. But still, nonetheless, saw it and very, very pumped.
Yeah, I think we're all excited about this one. It looks like it's going to be great. So we're going to hop right into it. We're going to test this out here. So if you're watching on YouTube or as you listen, if you hear some mistakes here or there, which are kind of usual, but if you hear some other random mistakes, it's because I'm trying to share this with everybody so we can watch it at once and hit all the key points. So let me try to get this going here. And this is the fun part. Oh, I'm going to pause before I do that. I have a present right here next to me. Scott Ryfun, friend of the show, the most listened to man in South Georgia radio. He was on the show, just right before Christmas, I believe, with Jimmy Mack from Rebel Force Radio. And he told me that he was being the Oprah of Galaxy's Edge. And he got me an actual, let's see, R6 SNO, so R6 Snow.
Wow.
A holiday
Very nice
droid from Galaxy's Edge. So that is really nice. Thank you, Scott. Let's see what else is in here. Looky here. Scott is a huge collector of the comics, and he got a Star Wars weekly for me here, which I have never seen. Crisis on the Millennium Falcon. It's literally, we were growing up, they were monthly. So I don't know where this came from. So after the show, I will definitely do some research, but a Star Wars weekly with Han and Chewie on the front of it. That's pretty cool. And it is from, goodness gracious, 1979. So right there, still bagged and cardboarded right there. So thank you very much, Mr. Ryfun. We appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll talk here real soon. But now we'll go on to the Mandalorian.
That's Marvel's UK comic series.
There we go.
Didn't take long.
Alfie the encyclopedia.
Let's try to share this screen here. Let's see what happens.
Good YouTube episode for you guys out there.
Yes.
Goodness gracious. All right, you guys ready? Let's see if we can do this. I think that's big enough, right? So we can keep us all on the screen.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have the sound turned off on this, but it's got the subtitles down there. So we're gonna start and just watch this, and we've all got notes. You guys just tell me stop, whatever, whenever you want to. With something comes up that you have questions about, we're gonna start into Mandalorian season 3 trailer, which was only I think a minute and 40 seconds long. So let's see how long we drag this out for a minute and 40 seconds. Here we go, season 3 Mandalorian. And I don't know who's walking out there. Is that just a bunch of Mandos?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now, if you look right there,
Right here?
go back one scene. Sorry, I
You're
should
fine.
have been faster. I didn't realize it was this quick.
Here we go, Alfie.
Okay. Right there, you can see the emblem for Clan Eldar that was in think Clone Wars.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like a kind of like a tiger kind of design.
Ooh, yeah.
Actually, I think it would have been Rebels too, because they bowed to Bo-Katan when she got the Darksaber.
Okay. This is the tidbits I want. I will tell you, growing up, and Alfie, you saw that from the retro Fett stuff that you've been collecting. I loved, how many different Fett combinations, Boba Fett combinations were back in the 70s and early 80s. And seeing these guys in these Mando suits like this reminds me of that right away. The comic book version, the holiday special version, the toy version, all of them coming out looking a little bit different. So I think it's great that we're bringing this all together.
Now you mentioned that they bowed to Bo-Katan. So where we stand now and going into season 3, would these Mandos be considered allies of Mando or enemies because they're looking out for Bo-Katan? What do we think?
He has the Darksaber now, so I mean, I don't want to be the bad guy here, but I mean, Bo-Katan doesn't really have a whole lot to stand on anymore. Which is something to think about. Are we going to get any backstory on how Moff Gideon got the Darksaber from Bo-Katan, or how she survived the Purge?
I think we're going to go
I'm
pretty
hoping both
deep.
of those, and then from where we left off in season 2, we're kind of at a standstill with Bo-Katan and Mando. Like, what happens post credits after Luke Skywalker takes Grogu? They turn around, they're like, all right, well,
that's one dynamic I really like, and I'm looking forward to this season, because all of season 2, she preached this whole, hierarchy of the Mandalorians and what it meant to have the Darksaber. Does she really believe that, or does she only believe it if she has it?
Good questions. I did like, just to throw this out there, I did like going into the Monday Night Football game that they had Giancarlo Esposito doing the intro to Monday Night Football. So you
I
had
missed that.
Yeah, Moff Gideon
it was pretty
leading
good.
it in. Yeah, I thought that was really good.
A lot of Star Wars ties with football here recently. John Williams did a Star Wars-esque intro to the College Football National Championship. Giancarlo now, Mando on Monday Night Football. You got Carl Weathers was tweeting about Monday Night Football like crazy, telling everybody to watch it for the trailer. So a lot of crossover there at the House of Mouse.
Okay, did you see his tweet today?
Yes.
Carl Weathers? DDoc, do you think that was a slip of the tongue, or something that he didn't realize the implications of what he said?
Yeah, I read it before. I read it, and he called it the Star Wars multiverse, and right away everything just blew up, because now everyone's like, does that include the EU now? Like, everyone's like, multiverse has to be a word that's thrown around there, or he's watched a lot of Marvel recently. I don't know.
Let's see if it's still up here. I think it is.
While you're looking for that, I'll hit play.
Yep. Hold on. Sorry.
You're fine.
Well, it was from Monday night. Come on, y'all. This Mandalorian poster is too cool. Love being part of the Star Wars multiverse. March 1, 2023, baby. And then Let's see if somebody said. No, he didn't reply to anybody about it, but yeah, still up.
Interesting. I guess they'll go with it, right? So that's look. Hey, just so you know, someone here on the YouTube, the old YouTube, they got 71 Easter eggs in in this minute and 40 seconds. So
You put that together, Alfie?
No, no, I did not.
I've watched some of that guy's stuff. He's actually pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
okay, so we go on to the next scene. Mando's showing up right in the middle of these different Mandalorians here. I love the white helmets, the orange helmet. You could almost get T-Bob in there with the LSU helmet that he's got.
Now,
to go in this.
there's a lot of people very upset about his rangefinder being bent.
Really?
Ah,
Yes. I've read a lot of comments about that today. If we're going to be that petty, but I don't know, maybe there's a reason why. But
is it, or are they upset just because of like lack of detail? Or
Yeah.
what?
yeah,
Well, I
You know
mean,
what?
look at that cave around him. Do you know how many times I would hit my head on a rock walking around in that helmet? He probably just bumped it on something and bent it. That's all. You know?
Exactly.
and now
Or
these
6
two guys
foot-
behind him kind of have the night owls look to them. I don't really see the insignia, but
More the slim.
yeah,
Yeah.
That
Now-
screams Lord of the Rings to me.
Yeah, I see
Those
that.
helmets.
a lot of capes.
Very elvish.
All
the,
right.
the slanted kind.
Lucasfilm logo, as always. Okay, we got Mando and Grogu going along in the souped up Naboo starfighter here. So
I gotta say, as a huge fan of IndyCar, I get some major IndyCar vibes from the Naboo starfighter with the way that the cockpit is, how they souped it up, how it just freaking absolutely flies. It's very, very cool. It gets me revved up, and I did, yes, that was on purpose.
revved up. I like that. I like, again, going back to the starfighter, the Naboo starfighter. You're taking something that's happening post Return of the Jedi here and wrapping, like we talked about last season, wrapping something from the prequels back in. Yes, making changes to it, but yeah, Alfie, you've said it before. How many of those old Naboo starfighters are still sitting around in boxes
Right.
that they can repurpose right now, repaint, right?
Yeah, it just kills me watching this trailer that there is not a toy of this.
Yeah.
100%. So
And
these
I'm
Only
not-
Lego.
I don't mean
Only
a
Legos.
$250 Black Series or anything. Just just like what we had.
Agreed. So he's going back to
Navarro.
right? So he's landing here. We're gonna see walking through town.
Damn, that's had quite the uplifts, man.
Yeah, since they changed things up and Grief Karga took over, this place is cleaned up. They still have the Kowakian monkey lizards around though.
Yeah, they're not in cages though, like season 1.
Yeah, not eating that bad, dude. He's up there just living free, loving life.
Living his best life.
That's right. Let's see if we see anything in here. Is that R5 behind them, or is that a different droid? Do we know?
It's kind of hard to tell, but it is an R5 unit, looks like.
Yeah, this place has cleaned up quite a bit. And you know what? Just being in Positano last fall kind of reminds me of a little town like that. So it's pretty cool, pretty nice. Here comes Grief looking all dapper, and then there's the leg of the IG-11, right? Is it
Mhm.
IG-11?
IG-11 with the Stormtrooper helmets.
Oh wow, that's sweet. Yeah, the statue. That was cool.
Yeah, meeting right out there in front. Always look at Grief coming out with the show, man. Got the gold cape on. Looking nice. Pulling a little Lando
Yeah.
stuff right here.
Do you think he walked out to Living in America?
I was just about to say we should do a big crossover where he does "Living in Navarro."
Oh, Joey, you need to tweet that to Carl right now. Get that thing going. He would love that. Are you kidding me? Okay, now this one right here. Sorry, it stopped on a bad spot. We've got Mando and Grogu going through some serious weather in the starfighter. Is anybody else thinking? I know Alfie threw it out there, and it was on my notes. Are we looking at him trying to retrace some things before he goes back to Mandalore, and this is a trip to Camino to kind of get some of his roots and things like that? Is this where he's going?
Hmm.
You know, well, I'm trying to. So in the timeline right now, because of the Bad Batch,
Mm-hmm.
Camino, from what we saw in Bad Batch season 1, I mean, what would
Yeah.
really be left of Camino in that whole place?
Dr. Pershing in season 1, even though it's destroyed, he was wearing a Camino uniform.
It's true.
Yeah, and there's not much
Forgot
left
about
of
that.
Mandalore, but he's going to go back there, right? I mean, I think it would be great. We talked about with Book of Boba Fett how we wanted to see like some backtracking, looking at historical things, kind of tracing his roots to get to where he is. But maybe Mando's doing that in his place, right? Maybe he's going to see Mandalore. He's going to see Camino. They're going to find out things about gosh, I'm blanking on his name right now. Boba's
Jango
dad.
Fett?
Django. Thank you. It just popped into my head. I don't know, but
Well, I
uh,
guess if you look like, yeah, I mean, well, from what we know with what they're trying to do with Baby Yoda, not only in Mandalorian, but Bad Batch, from what they left off with, where there's all that we have this weird kind of atmosphere around cloning, right?
yep.
And we know the end result from Rise of Skywalker, with what they were trying to do there with Palpatine. So yeah, man, I mean, maybe they are trying to go back and see the origin of cloning and the clone army and what the what would you say? Camino?
Kaminoans.
Yeah, what they were doing. They're in some sort of weather. I don't know. Could be on 465.
The first thing when it first happened, I thought Dagobah, right? It just because Luke, when I saw him going through, it was
the fog,
the X-wing going through the fog, going down to Dagobah. But then I started thinking, where else are we seeing this kind of rain and everything? So let's see where we go here.
If you notice too, R5 is in the droid socket.
Yeah.
Yes. So the armorer is back, and just like those other Mandos, she's got those eyes that aren't. It's not a T visor, right? She's got the eyes that kind of bend and go off on their own like that. So to have the armorer back, that's great. Emily Swallow, who has still got the open invitation to be on the show. I've reached out to her a number of times.
See, I got another thing to expand on the Darksaber. You know, we're talking about Bo-Katan and how she's going to react. Think back in the Book of Boba Fett, the armorer never gave any acknowledgement whatsoever to what Din Djarin having the Darksaber meant. In fact, she cast him out.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this come back. You're exactly right, because she kind of was the one who said, "You're worthless. You're not worthy.
Right.
You shouldn't," and really drug him down because he felt like he was doing these good things. But to see her back and now to see what the relationship's like after she's done that ought to be interesting. And you're right, she should have been saying, "Hey, you've got the Darksaber. You're kind of in charge." So, so real quick, Alfie, you mentioned somewhere in the notes, is she making armor for Grogu? That was one of your things when we saw it. Just reminded me when the armor came up. Do we have that coming later on, or is this related to it right here?
I don't know. I mean, who else would she be making armor for? What is she making armor from? So far, we've only seen Din Djarin bring back Beskar, and that was when he was a bounty hunter. So I don't know. Maybe she's repurposing something. Maybe she's on Mandalore. Maybe it'd be like a video game where the person sends you on the quest, and when you get to the end, they're waiting on you. So,
I mean, she's got a pool of metal there too. Like she's got a freaking ladle. Like so, she might be. I mean, is she on Mandalore now? Is she off of that ring that he saw her at? Like where is she at in this? Maybe he goes back and visits that Halo looking ring or whatever that he was at in Book of Boba Fett, I guess. Either way, she's about to make some armor because that's hot metal in there.
Alfie,
she was dipping. It looked like she was dipping like Baby Yoda's little ball that he likes, right?
I didn't even notice that. Let
Looked
me
like some sort of ball or something. I don't know.
let me take it right back to that, and let's hit play again. Was
Yeah,
that
so
it's a
that's
ladle? Yeah.
yeah, that's like what it used to be like when you would do like cast iron drain lines, and you would melt hot lead and use the ladle to scoop it out and pour it in for lead and oakum. Little plumbing references in Star Wars. I love it.
Looks like they're in a cave of some sort.
Yeah, she's in a cave because they're sitting there both watching her right now. So Grogu and Mando are watching her with her ladle and see what magic she can make with her metal there. So another thing was brought up that we might as well talk about now. Besides the ship sighting we're going to see, no Bo-Katan in this. Now, she was in the Sizzle trailer, but she
Right.
wasn't in this one at all. Is there any reference to that? Any reason why you think she wouldn't? As just, hey, we already showed she's going to be a big part of it, and now we're going to show other things.
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mando and Grogu both watching her. We go on to the next thing. Okay.
That
So
shot's crazy.
this is the destroyed Mandalore, correct, Alfie?
Right. This, whatever the name, I can't think of the name of the city.
It's the night. Is this the Night of the Thousand Tears, or is this different? This is just the Purge, is what it's called.
The Night of a Thousand Tears is when it was destroyed.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. This is related to that.
Yeah, this would be him. It looks like it's him going back to Mandalore, and
Okay.
it's just he's been warned from the beginning that Fett said they turned that planet to glass. Mando said that planet's cursed and anybody who goes there dies.
Somebody Google the city before we look stupid, because I know we've heard it 100 times, and it's I just don't want to forget that while we're watching here. But it's a gorgeous view. I mean, that's absolutely awesome. You would think that
Sundari.
happened. Okay. So this happened after the prequels, before the original trilogy. And here we are after the original trilogy, and the city is still a complete smoldering mess.
Well,
So,
if you think back on Rebels, outside of the city, it was kind of a deserty area.
yes, it was. Well, we shall see. I think you guys mentioned in the talk a lot. The visuals on this entire show look absolutely great. I mean, they look movie quality in everything we're seeing so far. So that's definitely a thumbs up on my end. Do we think they're using the volume less and only in certain spots when they need it now that COVID's over? They're able to do a little bit more wide open things with this?
I think
I
they're
hope so.
just really good with it.
Yeah, and just the fact that they've seen that there's a lot of success and a lot of money in the Mandalorian, so hopefully they're dumping a little bit more of that investment back into it. So,
All righty.
Yeah, I could let someone borrow tools, for another show. It doesn't mean they're gonna use them the right way. Like, you gotta look at it like that. I feel like these guys, when it comes to the Mandalorian, because honestly, the last night right after this trailer, I went to Book of Boba Fett and put on the Mando episodes, and those had much better quality than Book of Boba Fett episodes did. So it's like, it felt like they almost like slid in the A team for those Mando episodes as far as visuals go. And yeah.
And I will say this: we're gonna get a Bad Batch tomorrow, and those visuals on that show are incredible. They're movie-like for an animated series. So they're bringing their A game. Okay, so R5. Hey, we get Pelimoto, the pit droid, and R5 all sending them off on their way. I love that Pelimoto's now kind of a regular character. Does she have a figure, by the way? Does anybody know?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Alfie would know better, obviously, but I feel like I've seen it somewhere.
Alfie, Pelimoto, I haven't been paying attention. We have a action figure of Pelimoto?
No.
They haven't made, you haven't seen any, or they
No.
haven't made any? Okay.
No.
See, if this was 1978, you'd have 3 different varieties of Pelimotos right now. So, but
Yeah, and some people are pretty harsh on Pelimoto. I can't remember where you guys all stand, but I see some people online complaining about how she takes me out of it and she's kind of blah blah blah. And I'm like, she's a quirky, goofy garage shop owner. I mean, she is what she is. Like, I think she's funny.
Yeah,
Character grew on me.
I think she should be on the front of a Christmas card.
Yeah, you're right, Alfie. The first I was doing a Mando rewatch, and the first time we came across her, I was like, all right, shut the hell up. But then more and more, I was like, okay, that it makes sense for what she's doing.
Yeah, I think she's turned into a good character. I think people like her across the board. A little shot of the money. Okay, let's go back to that real quick.
Yeah.
And there. What we got going on here? Is this the end of Return of the Jedi revisited here with all the fireworks and everything like that? Anybody have any clue on what's going on there where Mando's leaving some place and lots of explosions or fireworks are going on?
Life Day?
Life Day, Dad?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, yeah.
Isn't that the holiday in Star Wars?
It is. It is.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they celebrate the destruction of the Death Star and stuff once a year, like 4th of July almost. Like,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, across the universe.
Maybe it's Imperial Day.
Oh,
that's become a New Republic holiday.
You just blend holidays together.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes both sides happy.
Okay. Oh, at least it's a good shot. Looks good.
It looks really good.
Okay, March 1st. All right. Are we on Coruscant here, boys?
Hey now.
Hold on a second before we get into this shot. You don't have to move it at all, but if you watch the Disney Plus trailer, there is no on March 1st.
Oh.
There's the shot of the Star Destroyers in the docking base on whatever planet this is.
Star Destroyers, really?
I sent it to the group text.
Yes, that's right. I saw that. Okay. Okay, so it's right after Return of the Jedi, or within 5 years. The New Republic's gonna they're gonna acquire those Star Destroyers, so that would make sense, right? They're just gonna use that equipment, just like
they make them into the Starhawks, right?
You know better than me.
DDoc, did you play Squadrons?
Nope. That's the one Star Wars game I did not play, actually, because I got a little too dizzy playing it.
All I know is it's pretty cool. And seeing, if we assume this is, and it could be, as we mentioned, it could be Chandrilla, Hazian Prime, wherever they move the capital to, right? But it's got a good Coruscant feel about it.
It looks a little, yeah. Like it looks a little bit more compact to where like it looks like we're kind of looking at a main like street level almost, or I don't know, from my view right there in the middle.
Right.
Whereas Coruscant, I feel like everything is so vertical and you have to go way down before you're even close to that. So maybe it's not. But maybe it does, it does. It screamed Coruscant to me when I first saw it.
But it could be one of those other two, since the capital's moved to those places, and they're not built up like Coruscant. They might have a large city, but it might not be as deep as Coruscant. So good call on the street level there. I hadn't even paid attention to that. And is that the Pershing right there?
Yeah, that's Dr. Pershing.
Okay. So Dr. Pershing's going along in a car being driven by a droid. I'm trying to see if there's anything else, because right now we have I forget his name, guys. Hit me.
Guy's back.
This guy?
Yeah.
Carson Teva?
Yeah. Carson Teva's back wearing a very much like Poe Dameron jacket right there.
Yeah. Does the New Republic have like a Top Gun school or Aces or something? Because that without that patch in the front, that's the jacket that Poe Dameron wore in The Last Jedi.
Okay. Yeah, and so what was he saying here? It's like basically there's something going on out there much bigger
Yeah.
than you could.
By the time you
Yeah.
you react, it'll be too late.
Yeah. And is he telling that to Mando or is he telling somebody else?
Doesn't seem like why would it be Mando's responsibility?
Uh-uh. He's telling somebody in the military there or in the
Right.
leadership.
Mon
He's telling Cara
Mothma.
Dune. She's back.
Yeah. We could only wish.
It'd be nice to get like a Crix Madine to come back. Whatever happened to him after Jedi?
He probably got a nice little haircut and
He did have a swell haircut.
yeah, he had a good haircut in Return of the Jedi. And wasn't his beard fake? Didn't they have to tape or glue his beard on? That wasn't real, like in
I
filming,
think that's
right?
right.
Okay. And speaking of that, we even had a General Madine action figure, which all he did was speak for a moment, and he gave him a nice little baton. And
Yeah, all of his action scenes were deleted.
were there original action scenes of
Yeah.
General Madine in Return of the Jedi?
He was on a Calamarian cruiser.
Wow. Okay. The Book of Alfie strikes again. Okay, so we don't know if that was him talking directly to him or if that was just another snippet going somewhere else.
I think the shot of Mando is him approaching Bo-Katan, sitting on the throne or whatever. Remember, you have that long shot where he's walking down the. See those corridors behind him?
Huh.
Yep, that looks like that.
It does look like the Mandalore where Bo and her sister used to hang out with Darth Maul. Right there, that big hallway. Good call. Good call. And is he wearing a cape? Trying to see.
He's got his cape on.
So,
Got his cape on. Grogu's over to his left, back there in the back,
Hey, little guy.
floating along. So this right here, when I originally watched this, Alfie, the reason I put up clone tubes in our
That
text,
green
because,
light.
yes, I was watching on my phone, and so I saw green, and I saw things kind of like laid out, and I thought, is he like back on Camino and seeing the remnants of the clone tubes there or something like that? I wasn't sure. And with green, maybe it was underwater kind of a feel. That's why I threw that out there, but I couldn't even begin to tell you what this is right here, unless you guys know.
I think you're on the right track because he's supposed to be looking for the springs of Mandalore, right? Doesn't he have to go to the springs in the mines that were underneath the city of Mandalore?
To kind of go get baptized.
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what the armorer says to him on Ring Planet. You need to travel to the depths of whatever, and to redeem yourself or whatever.
Okay. Well, so he might, there we go. He might be down in the underground springs right now. So the Green Grotto. Now, these helmets, this is another question I had. Somebody's pulling up these old Mandalore helmets, which I just butchered completely. But are we thinking this is where the purge happened and they're just digging these up and seeing like some historical artifacts here?
I would imagine so.
Because they look pretty much covered in ash right there.
Another cool shot with that lighting coming through on the.
Yeah. Is anybody else ready to have T-Bob come on and talk about this when Mando comes back out? He's going to be
always.
Yeah, he'll be living it.
The visor design on that is very similar to his design, unique to his design, how his has that sharp curve inside, like his, if you look at his visor and Boba Fett's, like they're different.
It's got a jawline.
Yeah. It does have a very similar design to his, but it's smaller. I guess it's a kid. If you look, it's in his hand. It's like,
it does look tiny.
Could be like a what are
like
they called?
Kid
the kids ones. What were they called? A foundling. Could be like a foundling's helmet where because they look at it in his hand, it doesn't look that big, does it?
It could be it could be half of it, a little in the wreckage or something. If it's, I don't know, it would take a lot, obviously, if it's Beskar, but
No, it's a cool shot though. I do like it. Okay.
Here we go.
4 Jedi facing a door in the Jedi Temple. We got the flashback during Book of Boba Fett when Luke and Grogu are, doing the mind meld there. Alfie, you're thinking this is the opposite view. This is a different angle of this from what we saw before?
Probably earlier, 20, 30 seconds before what we've already seen.
Okay.
A more complete memory.
The
So,
complete memory from Grogu.
Yeah. Because
And
in
you're-
the next shot, or maybe it was the previous one, you can see the lightsabers reflecting in his eyes.
Yeah.
yeah, it went right from
Ah.
then to this. Okay. So, are we thinking that could be
100%.
Mr.
Anakin?
Anakin coming through that door?
Yeah.
I would agree. What a way to bring him back in. You brought him in Kenobi. He's going to have that angry look with the scar on his face and be coming through and chopping people up.
Now, my next two questions, and I'm sure your guys' are as well, is who are these 4 Jedi? And who is the one or somebody else that's not in that shot who takes Grogu and saves him?
Let me respond to that real quick. Why does somebody have to take Grogu and save him? Everyone assumes that he gets away, but Ahsoka said his memory and his life go dark right after this.
So you're thinking Anakin does come through with them?
Or the clones. Yeah, I think so. I think he goes to the mountain
through the mountain.
from the end of the Bad Batch season 1.
Oh, they take
Mount
him there.
Tantus?
Yeah.
Ah. And that's why they keep trying to go back to him for more tissue samples, blood samples.
Yeah, and it's something I brought up before. If you think back to the first episode of The Mandalorian, who was it that took Grogu and why? How did he get in that building with what was it, like a Nikto gang or something?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, he wouldn't be just sitting around for 30 years, right? Doing
Right.
nothing.
And Moff Gideon, when he captures him, remarks at how much stronger he's gotten, but that Moff Gideon knows that when he uses the Force, he gets tired.
This is why this is a damn good show.
I never thought about it, but one thing I will say is what we're seeing, I think, play out with all these series and everything, with Mandalorian especially, is the exact opposite of what we saw play out with the production ideas, planning of the sequel trilogy. You're having all these shots come together. You're having all these storylines connect. These dots come together. It's amazing what happens when you do that.
Well, and if you think about it, in a short amount of time, you had like 4 shows that were in different stages of production. So who's to say when they shot this, they didn't make a longer sequence and said, hey, I know Hayden's working on Ahsoka. Is he available? Or so-and-so available or whoever, for a few hours. If you're going to dress Hayden Christensen up once as Lord Vader, why not, a few hours more?
I mean, when they were making the prequels, didn't they do that with Palpatine? And didn't they have him come back and film some scenes for the redone up original trilogy?
The DVD release of the special editions.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you got Tim Morrison, who's in like 9 shows now. You got Hayden Christensen bouncing around. You might as well use them up while they're there. So here we're assuming like Bo-Katan's ship being chased by some TIE interceptors.
It's definitely, a gauntlet class, I think, is it? A Fang gauntlet.
Okay. This was some great action scenes right here. You mentioned before, Alfie, like if Andor has this scene right here, these kind of scenes, you're look at that. That's going through that. That's like pod racing on steroids.
That's definitely a TIE interceptor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just a great scene. The wing touching the water down there in the middle of that canyon. Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. A little more pew pews, a little more explosions.
Like Beggars Canyon back home.
That's exactly right. Okay, so we had, oh, there we go. Is that same ship?
Yeah,
Uh,
that is not Bo-Katan's ship.
Okay.
It's similar, but that's more like the Gauntlet fighters that were in Rebels, which I know Bo-Katan has her own version of it.
So I had a crazy thought recently rewatching this. What if that's Grogu flying that ship? Because one of the first lines that Mando says to him is he said, part of being a Mandalorian is learning to navigate the galaxy, like, so you're never lost or something like that. Like, and he's like kind of showing him around and like training him now. He loves being in the ship and everything. I'm just like, what if he's freaking in a ship flying it? Like, who says he can't? I don't know.
Well, if you remember, before it said March 1st, you saw Grogu's hand go up and grab a handle in a ship. Did you see that real quick right
I didn't
before?
catch it.
Yeah, it looked like he hit the afterburner button
Yeah.
in one.
Yeah, it looked like he went up and hit something on the panel there. Yeah. So you know, DDoc, you might be right. We might be seeing little baby Grogu showing off his Jedi abilities and flying ships. So okay, we got a droid bar here. What do we have?
It looks like a droid bar, but what would droids drink at a bar?
It's true.
Lubricants,
Not very
oil,
compatible.
Spoiled oil.
antifreeze.
Are there droid pickup lines?
They were both showing each other tasers there. It looked like back and forth. Mando and the bartender. Okay, let's take a quick glance. I see three battle droids. One, two, three.
Look at this chromed out freaking night version of this R2 unit or whatever right here. That looks like R2D2 right there.
Yes, that does look like R2. The one back towards the middle.
Then that droid back there at the far left was in A New Hope, that style droid. I think it's
this one.
CX3, I think.
He was in the Jawa's sand. He was in the Sandcrawler, wasn't he?
Which I understand there's thousands of the same droid, but we always like to pick out what we recognize.
So we got a blacked out chrome R2. This guy right here looks familiar from either the prequels or the Clone Wars or
that
something.
Screams to me a Macquarie.
Yeah. I saw a drawing today that looked a lot like that.
Okay. So yeah, Alfie, you said it. It goes from a place where we don't want your kind here to where they're having their own bar. So that's absolutely awesome.
And they also look like live prop battle droids as well, like along with everything else, which have we really seen that actually? Like, I mean, were all the battle droids CGI'd?
The only battle droid I actually remember seeing like being a real physical one was that one that George showed Steven Spielberg.
Exactly what I was thinking.
And was like, yeah, the Jedi cut through them like butter.
They're going to be like the stormtroopers in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh, this scene right here.
Cool. Forget about it.
Yeah. Yep. I mean that's just completely badass stuff right there. And is that Paz?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like IG-11's statue gets messed up.
That's not it down there anywhere. I don't see it anywhere. There's the stormtrooper helmet.
Yeah, and you can see the rebar of where it was at.
Damn, that sucks.
I think, just my opinion, I think it looks like it was removed.
So this is Navarro where they're dropping in this scene. And I always thought this was on Mandalore when I was watching the trailer for it. Damn. Then you got Paz Vizsla right there. Is that him? Paz Vizsla?
Yep.
Paz Vizsla, thick boy.
The Favreau character. Yeah. That's just good looking action scenes right there. Just seeing that come through. Those guys jump out and then come down and start fighting like this. Pretty cool.
Needs to be the next ride at Galaxy's Edge. take you up one of those, just drop you like drop zone.
Mm. Okay, hold on a second. Somebody gun smoked somebody in the background here, and I didn't see who it was. Okay, so that's not Mando,
Nope.
but it's got a jetpack. Looks very much like a Boba Fett jetpack from old school right there. Alfie, do we have any insight as to who that is?
It looks like the color scheme from the ones he was with at the beginning of the trailer.
Okay. And then this right there, that do you see that shot going in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost looked like what's her name from Book of Boba Fett?
Fennec Shand.
Yeah.
It does.
No,
The helmet kinda.
It's kind of got a Sabine Wren type look to it, but they're not wearing armor
Yeah.
unless they have that.
And she's got like a kilt thing going on.
Yeah.
It does look like her color on the top of her helmet right there.
And what alien race is that they're shooting? Because both guys on the ground look the same.
Trandoshan, looks like.
Those kind of look like Trandoshans, but the one that falls in front of the window here in a second looks like a Nikto.
Yep.
Hmm.
Trandoshans and Nikto. So, or Nikto, whatever.
Hey.
The Frick family.
Let's go.
Hello, Fricks. So we're going to see maybe, I mean, this is 25 years before the sequel trilogy. And we're seeing a little Babu Frick action right here. If not him, close family members. So that's pretty cool. And everybody loved that character, I think.
And they were good at working on droids.
Yep.
They
We
were.
have a missing droid now, don't
Yes. Wow.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. So Baby Grogu and his little
we? Pram?
pram, yeah, coming out, and here comes this weird guy. Oh, come on. How did I just barely miss that? I wanted to catch it right when he jumped in. Do we have any idea what this thing is right here, Alfie?
No, but it looks like it has 4 eyes and is wearing clothes.
Didn't the Walrus Man have one variety of Walrus Man with 2 eyes and one with 4 eyes? Didn't they talk about that? How there were different versions of what are those called? Walrus Man has a name.
Aqualish? The
Maybe.
Aqualish?
So it looks like he's going to have to fight his way out. He just tosses him using the Force. He's got some weird, ugly toes.
Some webbed feet looking.
Yeah.
And he dropped something too. I don't know that it looked like a pistol, but
let's go back
something
and
green.
see real quick.
A little bit farther down.
it looks like a blaster in his right hand. Yeah. Almost
Okay.
looked like a Needler from Halo, if you ever played that.
It was,
Oh.
yeah, looks like a blaster laying there next to him. Odd looking character right there, but that's okay. You know what? Star Wars, in my opinion, needs more aliens. We need to spruce up the alien market compared to what they've been doing in the sequel trilogy. Same kind of aliens all the time in that thing. Give me some variety here.
Same with Andor.
That thing looks like Predator.
Okay.
And if you go to the first shot of it, it looks like Mando is laying on the ground behind it.
Behind the guy on the ground?
Yeah, watch when the creature jumps down. See, look right there.
Oh damn! Yeah, it looks like he's like stuck up against the.
Oh damn!
It's like he's got knocked out right there.
He needs Grogu to come save the day.
Okay, I was hoping they'd get him a little bit on that angle too, but no. Let's face it, he does save his behind a few times so far.
They kind of do it both ways.
Yeah.
Watching back, I'm like, yeah, there's a few close calls for Grogu that Mando came through on.
So yeah, that was the minute and 40 seconds, and let's face it, some of it was words and things like that. Let's see. I had Grogu and the Creature. There we go. We got that. Scientists Pershing on Coruscant or Chandrilla or Hazian Prime. We hit that. What are some things we didn't hit in there that that were obvious misses? Things we didn't catch on to or anything like that? Alfie, any Easter eggs besides the guy on YouTube had 71 of them?
I think I've gone over everything I picked out. I'm curious to see why why is he gathering Mandalorians to take to Navarro?
Yeah. How are they going to balance that? It seems like he's got to be at Mandalore, figure out that situation, but also Navarro needs some help again. What's going on there? Yeah, that's a good point.
There's a lot going on, and frankly, I love it. I think it's better when we're weaving all these stories together, all these storylines together.
It can be for a while, but I think when you get into 6 or 7 seasons of a show, the storylines get way too big, and there's too many of them. And say with this show, how is it going to balance an overarching story between each episode with different characters and their stories, and still have that feel of the gunslinger of the week?
I don't think
us really like the show.
Is this show really going to go that long, though? I mean, wouldn't you think 4 or 5 seasons would cap it off?
I think, I hate to bring it up again, but I think this will be very close to a Marvel formula. Maybe 4 or 5 seasons, but Mando will continue to show up in the other series that start.
When the Star Wars Avengers get together. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And I think, if you do it right and you do 4 or 5 seasons of Mando, 3 or 4 seasons of Ahsoka, if needs be, you might only need a couple, 2 or 3 seasons of Ahsoka. The Skeleton Crew, which I think, again, you're going into that show with.
Is that even happening anymore? I thought that was a total shit show.
No, Skeleton Crew will be out end of 2023. The one with Jude Law.
I'm seeing somewhere that the production, the production staff was.
That is correct.
Having issues.
It was a very grueling shoot. It had a lot of issues, personnel wise, but as far as a finished product, it is still almost complete and on schedule.
Yeah, I saw it was supposed to release by the end of 2023. So, and they finished filming last fall, right?
Skeleton Crew, I think, wraps up next month.
Oh, I thought it was already done filming.
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, so
and Ahsoka is where we don't have a date on that yet, but we're looking like summer, or are people speculating that?
Mando starts March 1st. How many episodes will it be? 8?
8.
If it goes 8, that's March and April. So May 4th could fit for a new series to start right then and there. But outside of Bad Batch, Mando, Ahsoka, and Skeleton Crew, that's the only things I've seen, correct, for this year? Visions 2, but
Visions 2, yeah.
Ahsoka is still just showing as released into 2023, no date.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way they're going to want that big of a gap to go as far as live action Star Wars goes, though, because if you look at last year, I mean, you had was Book of Boba Fett the first live action series of last year? Was that last year? Or was that 21?
It premiered like on the 30th or something of December.
Okay.
2021. And then it took us until mid-February or what, I think.
And then we had a gap, right?
And we had a gap from that to Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
Memorial Day weekend.
Which, did we have any animation between those two? I don't think so, actually. No, I think we had a good gap. Yeah. Hopefully,
was 21.
Hopefully it's not like we get Mando like here in the beginning of the year, and then it's just like 6 months without live action stars, 7 months, and then it's like we get Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew like right at the end of the year.
I don't know how many episodes each one of those are, but if it makes sense for them to each be like 8 episodes, then you're going March and April with Mando, maybe May and June with Ahsoka if you want anything to do with May 4th. If you don't, you can go, June, July, whatever. But every couple months, you'd have a new thing starting. But look, I think we all had our question marks on Book of Boba Fett. We all had our question marks on Kenobi. There were some big hits and there were some misses on those shows. But I think the production of this looks great. The production of Andor looked great. There were some misses on timing and pace and things like that, but overall a good story. Just could have been tightened up a little bit. But it cracks me up that Mando, we had no idea what to expect when they announced this. Joey, was it 2019 when you and I were going to the convention, and that's when
April 2019 in Chicago.
Yeah, and they announced that, and we were like, we have no idea what to even expect from this.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it just blew everybody away, right? I mean,
you're just like, well, Favreau, I mean, it should be, and there you go. Has there been we haven't had it like an Ahsoka teaser or anything, have we? Did it get leaked from one of the conventions or anything?
It has been leaked, but it's not very good quality. Yeah. There's been a few high definition pictures that have been released, and then in a Disney Plus trailer, there were a few seconds of Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew.
And Acolytes
on YouTube right now, I see like the Ahsoka with Harrison Dula.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all we've seen, right?
Sabine, and then Sabine looking at her painting.
See, I think what's going to be interesting for those shows is to rope in the other. Like, I have a buddy who loves Star Wars. He'll watch The Mandalorian, all that stuff. Has never watched a lick of animation. So, when Ahsoka showed up, he's just like, "Who's this girl? She's pretty badass." And I'm like, "You should watch the animated shows." And he's just like, "Nah, I won't do that." Like, there's people out there who just won't do it. So, it's funny because that first trailer was Bo-Katan heavy that we got for Mandalorian. All the fans know who she is. Well, this one's going on, halftime on, playoff football. It's like, let's show all this Mando action and get the people who are just like, yeah, this looks like an exciting show into it as well. Because my wife saw the trailer. I've tried to get her to watch Mandalorian, and she was just like, maybe I will watch that with you. I'm like, I'm ready for a rewatch. Let's do it. She's not watched a lick of it. So
you're saying throw all the Mando and Baby Yoda in your face with some cool action scenes that gets all the casuals and the non-committed yet, because all of us are gonna break down in a minute 40 trailer no matter what the hell
for
happens.
An hour.
Yeah. But there was still breaking it down like that. There is still so much stuff for the hardcore fans like us who are looking into this stuff. But it was an action-packed thing for the guy who's sitting on the couch just like, maybe I'll watch that show. I don't know.
Sure. Well, like I said, the last episode, think of all the people that watched this that didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Baby Yoda's back. How did he get back? The show ended with him going off with Luke.
Yeah, they almost need to be like, hey, everybody, if you don't watch anything else, watch those 2 episodes real quick, or 2 or 3 episodes, whatever. And
I'm sure at the very beginning of season 3, it'll be, I don't know exactly what the text will say or if it'll say anything at all, but I'm sure there'll be some sort of compilation of the end of season 2, that quick bit of book. I feel like there'll be something in there where they're like, oh, okay, you went and got him from Luke. They've been doing a lot of that with Obi-Wan, where they recap the entire prequel trilogy. They're
really gonna have to do that for the Ahsoka series. Let's think about that. Like you said, DDoc, some people are just gonna be like, all I know her from is quick snippet in this, right? In Book of Boba Fett. And then they're gonna be having to go all the way back to Clone Wars to get that. And while I'm a huge animation guy, I'm loving all the animation that's been going on. I will admit, There's plenty of fluff in there. You know, if you're going to watch the Clone Wars, do it in small sections and certain key arcs. You don't need to see it all. There's a lot of things where you're like, that did nothing for me. Even in Rebels, while Rebels did a great job keeping it in line, there were still some episodes where you're like, you know, but the overall, storyline really gets you on both of those. And I've been rewatching Bad Batch season 1, and it's holding pretty true. I'm liking what I'm seeing in Bad Batch. There was only 1 or 2 fluff that I've seen rewatching it.
Yeah.
So leaving this, I mean, let's cut it here because we 1 minute and 40 seconds and we've talked for an hour. Are we pumped? I know I'm pumped. I think it's going to be better than.
I'm pumped.
I think it's going to be better than season 1 and season 2. Just looking at it right now, all the things coming together. So.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, DDoc.
All right, sorry. Yeah, I'm definitely pumped. I mean, Mandalorian is what brought me. I mean, obviously the sequel trilogies got me extremely excited for Star Wars. I started collecting Lego again and stuff when that happened. And then Mandalorian is what really kept me in it. And then starting to listen to this podcast, and here I am on it every freaking week for over a year now. So it's like, there's something special about this show. And it's like, to me, it's like the peak of what we're getting with Star Wars. I trust the show creators so much. So I'm jacked up about it. I'm excited.
Yes.
Yeah, totally echo that, man. It's, I never left Star Wars by any means, but it definitely is that first thing in my adult life that is really just have felt that connection to. And I'm excited, but also nervous for the emotions that I'll feel this time around with Mando and little baby Yoda. And I have my own little baby Yoda. So excited about that, no doubt.
All you guys with all these young kids, I tell you,
it hits different. It hits different. I'm telling you, when he touched the face of Mando when he was leaving, I wept like a freaking baby, man. I sat there with tears in my eyes. That's why I told my wife to just let me be. I'm shutting the lights off. I'm watching the trailer, the final episode, and I'm gonna cry in this room by myself. Yeah, that's what happens because it's that connection. The shows do hit different when you have that fatherly bond with your child. So it's cool.
It is. And sometimes your kid does podcasts with you. So
there you go.
I mean, it even lasts that long right there. So guys, thanks so much for taking an hour out of your night. I know all of our wives are probably like, really? Don't you guys talk about this enough? You're going to go spend an hour talking about it on screen? Well, that's what we do. We're just having fun. Thanks again, Joey, for being our special guest tonight. Can't wait to see when this comes out. And you and Frankie, him sitting on your lap watching Mandalorian. That's going to be a blast. Maybe we'll all watch it together. Maybe I can just sit there and watch you guys take it in. Alfie, thanks for having Azalea pop in as usual and seeing the Ash from Pokemon show up. DDoc, I say you ditch that commercial and don't worry about it. But guys,
gotta finish it after this.
Thanks so much. You guys have a great evening and be ready to watch Bad Batch tomorrow. And until next time, may the Force be with you.